Recently, I felt a strong attraction to someone locally who works with the public. And I profiled her as someone who might be either spiritual or open to spiritual because she looked modest. I must admit now, and I feel a bit rejected, I must admit now, plus I'm a bit older than her, that maybe her young age contributed to, plus the perception of her being modest, contributed to a perception that she had a glow to her, that she was higher value or something. I never asked her out. I never asked her name. I asked her if she was spiritual. I asked her if she had interest in solar flares. I tried to get to the point of me talking about the book that I wrote, because I don't want a woman for sex. I want a woman who likes me for me. That's why this stuff comes up. And even though she is attractive, she is not my race. But then again, aren't we all the same race in the end? I think we are. But not to people of today's day and age. And don't you forget that. Don't you ever forget that. Don't you ever fall into some sort of like La La Land or something. People that fall into that type of La La Land, you know, without knowing the reality that prisoners live in, it's just so sad that they're running around. And many people are, of course, living like they're in a prison. And I've said this for years and years and years. So, I'm making this video because I need a release and get her out of my mind. What happened was, I went to this place of business and just kind of brought up that I felt this place wasn't friendly, brought up some problems with this place, and was basically introducing myself. You know how customers have their name on file. Was introducing myself to them, to the women, and was talking to the older woman of her heritage and allowing this younger woman to basically eavesdrop, being that she's the, cashier next to her. Got it? So she can hear what I'm saying, and that I have information online and haters, and that I'm trying to fight the good fight. But if you put yourself out there, bad things can happen because there's bad people. And I got an email the next day, and it had to do with some sort of a return. And there was some information about the return. The person who sent that email about the return was the person that I found to be attractive. So then I copy and paste this person's name. But this person could be so young that they don't realize that someone might do that. And I see her LinkedIn page. And so let me just tell you about this person's appearance. Her appearance in the real world attracted me, but I can't see her face. Now, there's plenty of people that wear masks that are not attractive. Something about this young female and her body type, smaller than me, petite, probably 18 to 21. But it's like, who could be a potential wife who actually wants to actually have a kid, who likes me, who actually wants to, is it really that crazy to want a good woman, what I define to be a good woman, who's not chasing money, who's not a porn freak, who's open to sex and isn't a sex freak, isn't there to just please a man, but actually has intelligent attributes to her. Basically, someone that can be more than a sex slave, someone who wants to edit literature, edit blogs, make books. For making babies, make the books. And/or documentaries. They're very much related. And make many other things related to content and businesses. Got to make that money, make the house. Then, house is there for the kid. It's just that simple. A lot of women, maybe some men too, they expect to have that money, see that money first before they have that relationship. They don't have it in their mind to have a union with someone that they really trust. A lot of the people that they're having sex with are nothing more than that, a person that they're having sex with. And some people, they feel like they know better than to ask for more than that. And I feel eternally at odds with that. The man, the woman who just sees their partner as the one that they, are ejaculated into or ejaculate into. You know what I mean? It's kind of empty. But maybe there's some truth to the path that some people are on. Maybe some people are not idiots for mixing their truthing with their sexing. Maybe some things do need to be kept in their box. Maybe there's a reason there isn't such a thing as truther porn. Men and women trying to save the world together, like something out of Jewel of the Nile or Indiana Jones or Star Wars, right? Maybe there's a reason why all the porno is people hating each other. Yeah, I think people hate me because my observations are sharper than the sharpest knife in the local cutlery shop. What do you think? Now I see on our profile picture, she's just a ball of joy. Looks like she's like jumping out of a box or something. Okay, so she's trying to look super, super over the top, happy and sexy for somebody. But in the real world, eyes covered, doesn't make eye contact, doing the COVID mask thing all the time on purpose. And then, look at it from a spiritual perspective. Not only does this person have the glow, she's juicy, young, very attractive under there, even though I haven't even seen it from a psychic perspective. I know not only she's attractive, but that she is hiding that. And maybe she's been abused, and maybe she needs help. Maybe she needs my help. One thing leads to another, and again, the reason why I ask those questions, argue this and the one other, as a friend who is lesbian, who I'm open to having a friend, to see if they'll take my flash drive that has some of the recent videos, including the recent mixdown that you saw, 44 minutes. I think there's a bit of my soul in there. There's some chapters from my book in document form. There's an intro letter. There's even a folder, excuse me. There's even a folder full of the love songs that I like. I think that in this modern world of text messaging and internet dating, that it's not inappropriate to give someone a DVD or a flash drive. To me, that makes sense. Hi, I'm so-and-so. This is who I am as an actual person, not a piece of meat trying to treat you as a piece of meat. And I'm telling you, I see no sign that the women locally have ever liked that from me. And I've only tried to give out my YouTube channel to a few people. And out of all the women that have watched my main YouTube channel, none of them really like me or me standing against human trafficking. Only 3 have made a passing. Yeah, thanks for... It's almost like they're being forced into it through guilt or something. Yeah, thanks for being against human trafficking. And they go away and never talk to me again, without fail. What, you think I'm some sort of chump? What, you think I'm some sort of retard? Not only do I know that I'm a reject to you women, but I know that you can't even platonically, with your husband, say, high five, against human trafficking. And here's some tips, son, my friend, for how to fight it. And every time I try to keep reaching out to the people that brought me in this world, although I'm staying away from my dad, I feel bad about myself, because I know they don't want to be bothered by me. I think it's crazy for certain people in my life to, make them seem to be something out of a movie, Hollywood movie also. But to not be there for me, even on a, Miyagi level, a Mick level, in the way that he was there for Rocky. He wasn't there fighting Rocky's battles. He was there in Rocky's corner. So was that guy for Tyson. Many old white men that were there for brothers from the hood. Know what I mean? And who was there for me, really? Yeah, in my private life, that psychic side of myself, I think about the true evil nature of the people that I've known. Segue. I'm trying to see the true potential evil nature of this woman that I fell for, girl, who's blossoming. What I need to realize is I'm a man who's hungry, and all I did is just engage in nature. Came across a woman who had that sexual glow. She's coming of age. She's absolutely legal, and she's been working in that profession for a while. When we're not talking about a strip club, we're talking about a place of business where she works for the public all day long as a cashier all day long. And all day long, there's eyes on her, and her eyes are on her others, although she looks down. Very much reminds me of Adrian from Rocky. Very much like, don't talk to me. Then Rocky just force himself on her. Hell, I'm not playing that. All I wanted to give is this girl a flash drive and call me an old romantic. Did this stuff work in the 70s? I'm thinking, man, if I just show you what's in my soul or something, maybe she'll like me. Yeah. Nice try. No. She doesn't want the flash drive. They're probably afraid that it's a human trafficking chip. Now, I knew in the email exchange, such and such your order, and so she knew she has any intuition to her, and I profiled her heritage, at least aspects of them, as maybe being spiritual, but not all of them. I'm talking about basically everybody. Anybody could really be psychic or a good psychic or spiritual. And then you have people that might be psychic but not spiritual or not good. On the dark side of spirituality, into witchcraft and shit. Evil against good men. But they may look like pretty little girls. They may not look like the girls with the tats going, grrr, I want to fucking drink, matey. I'm 15 and I'm already a gangbang whore, matey. Right? They may not all come out like that in the deception. Again, what did I say recently? I understand it is the job of many women. And when I expose this, they flee like cockroaches. It's like they're there hunting Dodonka, buffalo. Hunters hunting buffalo, but only for their hides. It's like somebody that dances with wolves, something real macabre, right? It's like they're looking for a big, strong animal, and bam! Straight through the heart. Like a Paula Abdul song. Straight through the heart. And it is like that is the job of many women. To shoot down the heart of a good man. And it's really better for the good man who's spiritual, for him to wake up or for it to happen, for him to get rejected by said women before any type of like deepening courtage begins between him and her. It'll hurt all the more worse once they get it on, or once he develops strong feelings for her, once he thinks she actually likes him. It's really best for him to not be led into the lie to begin with. Does this make sense? So even though I noticed these were young women coming of age, looking for a little action, I don't want to play that game. So there's MGTOW, there's the game. I don't know how many paths there are in this, but we're talking about 3. So I don't want to do the MGTOW entirely or the game. I want to find the right woman, and for the right woman, have the right child with. Or maybe just have the right woman write some books with her or documentary DVDs. I want more than sex with a woman. Is that okay? Or she's got to at least not be super annoyed when I'm making podcasts in the room. I'll just drive her ass away. Start talking about the evils of this world, and she's like, hey, he's talking about me. So you see what I'm saying? Probably best that the people I'm bedded down with are of a higher consciousness. And I certainly can't be just doing podcasts and shows out of my room with roommates and people that aren't at my level. And if they're not going to make a pledge against evil, the living situation is going to be kind of complicated. My living situation is livable, but I have to make adjustments. I have to get out often. I'm out often now. I'm at the park now. The other day I was at this park and I saw lightning bugs. Yes. And I don't know if that's something where, they're going to be there night after night at the same time, same spot, or that's just a phenomenon. I don't know enough about it, but it is believed to be a spiritual thing. So, in that sense, I feel like, somebody in the 1970s got a lot of love songs, that flash drive. Like to give it to her, this flash drive. The local Saturday market, they got sexual lyrics about, take it. And like, you got little kids walking around. People here are stupid. So I clearly explained to older checkout lady, like, I know that many are crapola. If they're so bad, though, at least spill the beans. So this is what you got. What you got is women that don't want the men to be men bad to them, and they don't want to be trafficked themselves, but they don't want to support a man against human trafficking or even hear about it. And for those that don't know, I'm a person who has been slandered on the internet. And there's things about me that are untrue, and there's out of context. I did experiment with drugs in the late 90s because it was all over where I was, and I was led to it. It wasn't a Lex Luger mastermind plot against your boy Superman, God or Jesus. It wasn't a and now I will seek out the evil ways of earth. Revenge will be mine. And then some people almost like took an attitude with me. Like, oh, so we knew you were worthless the whole time. No, you fuckface. There's heroin, pot, meth. Know your fucking drugs, whether you use them or not. Kids that end up on fucking heroin are fucking trauma victims. Whereas people that end up on meth, let alone people that end up making meth, typically are demon scum, harbor demons, are bad people, are abusers. Whereas heroin, typically, especially with females, they've been raped by daddy, and they're being raped now for their drugs. Major difference between heroin and meth. There wasn't any consideration, long story short on that one. And had there been medical marijuana, legal at the federal level, healthy dose of CBD and THC, and that was thrown in my lap in ample quantities at the time, and I knew that it could be an alternative to the needle, and I had that third mentor. Would I have gone that path? No. But did my mom or the mentors at the time promote medical marijuana, or was it aware then, and have they woke up yet? Hell no. And so you still have junkies now. You still have bad parents now, creating the next wave of generation, the next generation of junkies. Doing either heroin, fentanyl, traz, or some other crap that's going to be. There's a movie, I forget what it's called, but it's a dystopian movie about government housing where they're on like slow-mo, some sort of like drug that slows things down. So things are happening in very, very slow motion. So I wanted to give her the flash drive on day one, and that clearly wasn't going to happen. And now that she heard my voice, and then, my name, and then I have a website, she had the opportunity to get curious. She could be so naive that she's not even curious. And so when she hears a man say that he's against evil, she doesn't even know, they don't even know what that means. It's suspicious to them. It's suspicious to them. So I'll be honest with you. I mean, I was really, I guess the term you earthlings would use, because I'm not an earthling. I'm not of this world. You just can now get the memo. Well, she was not having anything to do with my flash drive. Now she's got my name, and she knows where I live. Like, customer file and shit. She could have a boyfriend. She could have an abusive boyfriend and or an abusive daddy. She could just be sweating to get out of the house. And see, that's all I need is one good little assistant who can be a good friend. I would love it to feel like I could be like a father figure. Okay, boyfriend aside, even a mentor. No, that's not perverted. That's the natural way. And by not being a part of nature, you suffer. When you're a good man, okay. And it's bullshit for any man or woman, mother or father, to think that I deserve to live in a reality where I'm not mentoring people. And a lot of people that are mentoring in person, they're molesting little kids, including women. Plenty of stories about women molesting kids. Got an email from Patrick the other day and a donation, and he sent some slides. More stories about older boyfriends killing their much, much, much younger girlfriends. Not to say it's okay what they're doing, but, because how extreme the law is on those men, all right? In some cases, they kill those women because they don't want to be in the prison system. But when is there ever consequences for the young women that are with the older men? And I could talk to you about this for a long, long time. I think maybe the time has arrived. What do you think? See, the actual system is rigged to persecute you for having feelings that for some reason you were born with. You knew this, right? No. You knew this, right? Yep, your boy is not under mind control. I know there's certain things that are natural. That doesn't mean that I'm for this or for that. I mean that I know that in the human body, certain things are certain pulses. And so there should be discussions then about not giving in to certain impulses when you become an adult, don't you think? Kind of like a user manual. Hey, when you turn on the user manual, don't hit the red button. Or when there's a fire in your crotch over here that just starts, don't pour gasoline on it. Maybe do something to quell that fire. Have you heard that song by Bruce Springsteen, I'm on Fire? Do you know what it's about? Remember my dad was like, I hate that song by Bruce Springsteen, I'm on fire. You know what it's about? It's about XYZ. Guys, there's something wrong with that? Maybe there is something wrong with Bruce Springsteen, the song, I don't know. He was pretty, disturbed by it, but maybe he's trying to send a message that fire should be quelled. Is there a healthy discussion about that fire being quelled? And does this woman who seems to be, modest, lust for the bad boy and watch Call of Duty? Does she like men in uniform? Does she hate my people? That's all I want to know. I don't want to know about how my starved body wasn't felt the sexual touch of a woman for a long time. I don't want to be misled by my sensations. I didn't like my new shades here. Yeah. This passes. The 80s, take a look at that trim. No, I don't know if this camera is... I'm craving an outdoor camping adventure. Northern California, redwoods. Great Outdoors is a good movie, but I'm craving outdoor people and friends and an outdoor girlfriend. Even if she's a pretty zombie, as long as I can talk to her and she can be receptive and try to come out of the zombie trance, I'm totally fine. As long as she's willing to hear and learn. I don't have to own the show. She could tell me about her zombie life. Then I can offer tips, and then I could tell her that I have trouble reaching out and being understood by zombies with my language, that I need help with translation, and perhaps this pretty zombie girl can help me translate to the zombie land so that I can be heard upon my travels through zombie lands. Yes, wouldn't that be nice? Translation services. And so, anyway, immediately upon getting an email from this person, sir, your order is in. She already knows I'm smitten for her. You've got to be real dumb in this society where there's more men than women, and there are more men than women here, and there's not a lot of pretty women here, just to remind you of that. I don't think it came up here in this video. A lot of big chunky women. A lot of people like white chicks. I got it. I understand. They're above average in size here, though. My grandpa called them corn-fed. She's corn-fed. He liked that phrase a lot. He would point out the big ones while we were driving, and he would go, she's corn-fed. Morris was right in many cases. They were, in fact, corn-fed. Corn syrup is not your friend, ladies. High fructose or regular corn syrup. All right. Okay, and so I look at the name, and then I look up at the LinkedIn, and then, I identify. And being that this region is a region of human trafficking and kidnapping, of course, she doesn't know me. I'm from out of state, but I think that's a good thing. I'm from out of state. That means I haven't drinking the contaminated water, that is basically destroying people from the inside out. And I'm not a product of the local public educational school system. So that should be a good thing, not a bad thing. Don't be afraid. But they get afraid of anything that's outside the box of the norm. And that's what's really screwy. So then I go looking again, and then it's like, oh, page isn't up. And so, it is kind of like a hypocritical signal of this society to be like, okay, everything should be internet-based now, social media-based now, dating apps now. But if you go online to get on Google to access a bit of information, the way LinkedIn works, when LinkedIn says so-and-so looked at your profile, it could trigger in that person who's afraid of human trafficking a sense of fear if all of a sudden somebody's looking at their profile. They may not have the maturity or common sense to realize maybe they were just curious. Maybe it's not a threat. Maybe they're just curious, because that's just what people do. And so I have what I call the litmus test. If I ask if you're spiritual and they say no comment, no, that means you're not spiritual and you might be open to evil. Okay. Then I talk about other things. They're still showing fear. That's 2. And then taking out a page in fear. That's 3. So 2 to 3 strikes there. So at this point, what I'm going to do is no longer go to that business. I'm no longer going to go to that business. I'm not going to buy anything from that business. I'm not going to look her up anymore. And I don't know what lesson I can learn from this, but I'm definitely going to take a lesson and bring it to the people here. Just because somebody, I'm going to try to bring it home here, may look like a little goddess underneath and they're coveting their light, and they've got that light inside, and that light is powerful. And we know that's a powerful light and a potent light, very juicy, very high prana, very fire starter, very going to make a guy very lucky one day. Oh, indeed. Let her do her thing. Let her traffic her ass. She is not looking for a spiritual one to change the world. She's certainly not looking for a little golden child to be educated in the higher things. If she don't want to know what spirituality is, if she's allergic to even knowing what the sun is, if she's allergic even more and blocks her page, when she knows that you wrote a book, walk away clean and walk away fast and learn something from this. And so you can't just look at a woman and try to profile. Is she trying to look sexy? Is she trying to look evil? It doesn't work that way. Does she have tats? Does she not have tats? Is she single, not have single? Doesn't work that way. The deceptions are far, far deeper. There could be somebody who's set up, you can call him a John, but he's not really a John. He's a sucker. Way down the line to give everything to this individual that he falsely perceives is of the light, is of good. And it could be years down the line that he loses everything. The house, the kids, the custody, all because he thought this person was super spiritual. And so not all deceptions in relationships are deceptions that come out overtly at the strip club or one-night stands. And sometimes marriage, as positive as marriage can be, because it is the opposite of being promiscuous, sometimes it is the chains that can confine a man and woman to something long-term. That's going to be a long-term deception. There certainly can be relationships that are outside the box of polygamy, that are monogamous, that don't necessarily involve the control of the state through the licenses, and going to Las Vegas irresponsibly. On that topic, I still want to go to Las Vegas, but seeing that there's a lot of violence in the news involving Las Vegas, and that prostitutes live horrible lives in Las Vegas, and then I've been to Las Vegas and I felt the evil of Fremont Street. I'm not under any spell that leaving the evil of this place and going into the evil of another place is going to bring me any pleasure. In fact, if anything, I am adjusting to the evil of this place. And in fact, I have some advice on that, right? When you actually go from one evil unconscious place to another evil unconscious place, you can become sick, mentally, physically, spiritually. You can lose your connection with God. You could become so overwhelmed by the new evil magnetism of a new region that the very concept of God itself can seem inconceivable, especially if your health is harmed by drugs that in fact should be illegal, but in fact are free. People will judge you for taking either vaccines or legal drugs, but they won't really wage, especially with the legal free drugs, much of a war against the corporations, even if they're against the vax. They don't really care as much about the drugs, okay, or care about the circumstances that led someone to take drugs like that, right? Like, issues regarding the legality of marijuana. Cannabis saves lives. And it's amazing how there's districts in this country, I know from traveling this nation, in which many doctors, people in the spiritual community are still under psychosis. And for the right genetics, people like myself, in which aspects of their ancestry, as a documented history of using the plant, it can be a very, very powerful thing. But because I'm on a budget, because of things that I can't control, and there's a number of them, right? And I don't tell you everything anymore because of this environment. But if I was to, of course, change environments and go somewhere else and have stable housing, there's many things to discuss in this environment. But because of the reality of modern shadow banning, all attempts to create YouTube channels involving this environment, promoting spiritual prepping, that is, prepping and promoting people meeting up at parks, preparing for inevitable long list of outcomes, without it being political, without it being, driven by hate of any particular political group or whatnot, which is where a lot of people are. Then you have people outside of that box, which don't want to be overly informed of anything really happening in the world. And if there is usually a prepper club or group, it's usually dominated by people into politics, usually far-right politics. Usually people on the left side, a progressive side, don't really do much, prepping sort of things. But where I'm from, they like to do the community garden thing. And, there's, of course, been the rise of health food stores, which is fine if you have the money for that type of stuff. So, and I see the rise of that now. I see the rise in health food stores, really expensive food, and just like a massive, separation. You have the McDonald's category over here, Walmart, not that that's really cheap anymore. That's actually getting really expensive. Most of us know not to eat their chicken unless it's organic. And then you have the other end of things where people are still living really, really well. People that are still getting steak for $25 a pound or $30 a pound. And then sometimes they'll go to some of these grocery stores or health food stores at the right time and try to get a discount where it's 50% off. Wagyu meat beef, I believe the beef from Japan, or grass-fed beef or steak. I definitely just avoid the cheap ground beef meat. And then using intuition, when to go to Kroger or when to go to a certain grocery store, okay, to find those discounts, including discounted naan, including discounted hummus, and then getting into, for the first time, seeking out pomegranate, and then buying an oversized pomegranate, believe it or not, for $6 in the Mexican market, and then going back going, no, I'm not buying that for $6. Then at Walmart, seeing that for $6.48, they have the juice for 52 ounces, but it is actually coming up for $9 at the counter. The point is that we can start tapping into our abilities and be drawn to go to the market when there's a cheap item, but can we actually influence the people doing the ordering of the products themselves is something that I wondered recently. Definitely not into narcissism or anything that's not a true belief system, right? That's a jumper, but it could be that I am in fact tapping into psychically the reality of pomegranate, or people looking at pomegranates. That's probably it. And then boom, I'm looking at pomegranate, buying a pomegranate. For those that don't know, it's a superfood. So I haven't really gotten deep into broccoli, but with, you're right, beef and proteins, I still eat the hell out of Breyers ice cream. Breyers ice cream, chocolate, Neapolitan, mint chip, doesn't have the corn syrup. So that's my Family Dollars are popping up like crazy. There's a nice little dollar store that was independently owned that have the nice naked juices sometimes for $2. And then the really angry staff. And then one day, boom. And then I'm noticing just other, local businesses. It's just part of a wave that's been happening. But I just noticed it happening at a sharper rate lately. So, another Dollar Tree is coming. Another Dollar Tree over here. Another Dollar Tree over there. Another Dollar Tree over there. Another Dollar Tree coming right here. A mini Dollar Tree. A Dollar Tree vending machine. It is everything the body needs. Yeah, except THC and CBD. When's the Dollar Tree gonna have the vape machine with the CBD and the THC? Yeah, see. You got to go by these places where they got like a Saturday market going on where marijuana is illegal. Then you drive by going, now when you start advocating, like people that don't want to be slaves, for your medical freedom, then I'll come by and treat you seriously. That's what you have here. You literally have, this ain't about pointing the finger at whitey or white people, but you have the system of white supremacy which makes people white people look bad. Although I understand what some people get involved in prison, but that's different. The gangs there is different. Real world, you need to be above that matrix because you have choices on the outside. Okay? Unless you want to be evil, unless you like stealing from other people that work for their stuff. And some people like that. They're like the characters from Home Alone. You see what he does? He likes to put the picture down, the people whose homes he... I think my hair is growing back since, what do you think? Is my hair growing back? Am I still looking like an old man? Am I back in my prime? 24 sets today. No, 29 sets today at the gym. I know. You want me juicing. Well, who do you want me to call? Ghostbusters? Foster Fitness? I am watching the heck out of Avi's movies. It's too bad I don't have a nice young female curious about, her daddy's past. Old school men and women that walked the earth, that had class. Although those Pat Benatar videos are a little bit pathetic. We are young. She moves back and like this, and that supposedly is her fighting back against abuse and domination. It's a joke. Heavy David Icke accent impression. It's a joke, mate. You're a joke. You're a joke, mate. Mate, you're a joke too. You jerking off Alex Jones. You're a joke. Fucking joke with jokes. Then there's Mark Bassio foaming at the mouth, challenging his audience to a street fight. Yeah, I'm called abusive. That dude has hundreds of likes, thousands of likes. Hit me, baby, one more time. Oh, you would not tolerate me talking to you like that, or maybe you would. Maybe I would get more subscribers. I just can't do it, guys. But yeah, it is that song, man. Doctor, give me the news. I've got a bad case of loving you. It's just a love bite. I just because this girl had the lush glow, it could make somebody very, very happy. She could just be hiding that. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's something pretty underneath here. But I'm not even trying to hook you into my web. You know what I mean? Are you the one to be taken down? And then you could be thinking like, hey, you should be totally about me. You should be. Some of these people, they have entity attachments through bloodlines and other things. So again, they look like juicy little spiritual little angels. They look like such an angel. Oh, you're just like, man, there are some demons living inside the body of some of these little girls and little women. You hear? So, thank you for watching. I'm You-Know-Who, reminding you the path to the ultimate truth and place of power still lies within. I'm going to go out, continue to catch some rays. I'm going to the gym, guys, and I'm trying to be 40 minutes in the gym, 5 to 10 minutes cardio, hit the bag, some power strikes, but also doing some footwork in the back at the end, right? Chest one day, biceps, 14, 15 sets of biceps another day, along with 6, 7 sets of back, and just mix it all up.